Hey traders, we'll give it a few minutes, let people log in as usual. Wanted to tee up some music, but I don't have it. I'm a little bit behind. Amp it up a little. Let's see. Yeah, guys, so we'll just give it a few more minutes here. Let some people sign in. All right, for those of you that are in YouTube land, if you guys want to try to post your comments in the live chat, I'll try to get to questions at the end. But I got to flip between the other application that we use for our webinar, Zoom. And so I'm not usually good once I get going about the topic. Well, all right. Why don't I just share with you guys a couple things that I see in cryptocurrencies, some of the charts, and then we can get into the program and why cryptocurrencies and why our team. So, do you guys see? Everyone see the chart I'm showing here? You can just put a yes in the room. Y for yes. You should see the Coinigy chart, and I have ant shares up currently. What about you guys in YouTube land? Can you see that in the comments? Y for yes. Okay. Okay, good. So I'm letting a few people on my team kind of join on the Zoom side, and then I'll get into just the details. So just a few recent play guys. I mean, I've been doing a video on what we've seen lately, what we've been doing in ant shares. I did a video yesterday on actually that's the QuickTime view. So, all right, here's Coinigy today live. So we'll start with Bitcoin. I mean, I've been talking about this pi line. I'll show you guys why we use cycles and what our pi line means in these slides here with our time together. But this is a pretty key cyclical signal for us anytime price pulls back towards this dotted green line. And we actually increased our position in Ethereum today. And you'll notice that Bitcoin and Ethereum both held this line. And that's not really shocking to the members and the traders that are on my team. This happens across. I mean, we see examples of this constantly in the Forex markets. It holds this line bonds, whatever futures market, gold, oil. It's all the same energy. It's all the same cycles that play out, which makes our model just a great model to learn, because whatever you want to trade, wherever the opportunity is, whatever's moving, and it's true for an altcoin or something that just came onto the scene, we can apply the same model. So it's not something that you have to get used to trading for several years before you get a feel for the overall market. Here on Ethereum, you'll see the same hold here. Getting a nice move up right now. We'll probably take some profits. We trade into the highs from the 23rd up here around 330. Probably offer just in front of that area. And then we got resistance again up here, 360s, and obviously 400 handle. But I've been talking about that for a couple weeks, wanting to pull back towards this line. We've held it 4 times actually. And believe me, nobody else has this on their chart. So it's not a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's not a simple moving average that everybody uses as far as 200-day. Nobody has this on their chart. So the fact that it holds there just goes to show you. And then what it really does is throw people off sides, because there's a lot of traders that kind of have a novice or amateur approach. Then when it breaks to 200, they think that's bearish. And then we're actually buying. While they're flipping and getting short, we're getting long. So anyway, we can get into why we do what we do and some overview of the program. So a couple more of you joined now, so that's good. All right. Let me do a new screen share. Okay, guys. Again, if you have questions, I'm going to run through this pretty quick, but I'll try to get your questions at the end, and then we'll talk about the program. So this is, why cryptocurrencies, why I think it's probably the most interesting thing that's happened to the trading community and or finance since probably futures started to be traded on fixed income and bonds back in the 80s. And then we'll talk about why our team. So we have this on our website. When you go to jenkinsrm.com, you go down to services underneath the crypto coin team. This is one of the quotes that comes up, and I love this quote by Milton. He's just always been a champion of free market capitalism and went against Keynes, and he was, I guess you could say, more in the Austrian camp as far as economics. So I've always liked his work. He's since passed on, but he was talking about reliable e-cash back in 1999. And so I think the internet's going to be one of the major forces reducing the role of government. And we're going to talk about why, if you look around the major trends in the world right now, a big trend is obviously a collapse in confidence in government. You can look at the populist movements between Trump, Brexit, obviously a lot of anti-Euro sentiment out there. And it's not about, you can have an opinion about, you can have a political opinion, that's great, and that's fine. But that's not really what's important. What's important is identifying the trend, and we want to pick up on these shifts in confidence. So anyways, I agree with him that the internet, and I think digital cash or digital currency is going to be something that really kind of pulls away the reins and gives more freedom to people, and back, kind of gets back some of the money supply. I don't want to get into all the opinions about the Fed or the ECB and central banking. But I think this is just the beginning of a major shift between the public sector and private sector. And we were talking about this. We were talking about this today or yesterday on our team as well. So I thought this was interesting. These numbers are just changed. So you can see the cryptocurrency market share back in just June of last year. So Bitcoin was pretty much dominating the entire marketplace, 12.4 billion in market cap. And you had Ethereum only 10%, right? And the other altcoins, et cetera, which were not as many, obviously, as there are now, but only 9% of the market share. So they just ran these numbers, and Bitcoin's at 41%. So it's already lost half of its market share relative to the total market cap of the cryptocurrency space. Ethereum's creeping up in a significant way. And then you have, Ripple, Litecoin, Dash, and all these others that are coming onto the scene. And I think that makes sense. So when you look back at any major industry or new technology, it's never, I think back to music, when you guys think about Napster, when that came on the scene, everybody was using that peer to peer. And then they just kind of faded away, right? There other competition came in. You could even say the same thing about the internet and AOL, and then it just, all these other players come in, and then we move from dial up to, fiber optic, and then into Wi-Fi, et cetera. So I think that's probably very true. I don't think it's just Bitcoin that's going to dominate. You're going to have a whole ecosystem that's going to just boom and blossom. And so that's great. We want more competition. That gives us more vehicles to trade. This is just, so this kind of gets in, I've always liked this quote. It's pretty popular, right? If you put the federal government in charge of the Sahara Desert, 5 years, you'd have a shortage of sand. And that's pretty true. Government just can't manage really anything, let alone the economy. And we've seen what they've done with the money supply, blah, 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 blah. But this is a big shift, again, back to what I think we'll see the next 10, 15 years. And I'm starting this program not just for it's not just about this quarter or next year. I'm thinking about this industry and this sector and trading this market for the rest of my life. I think the whole space is just a baby in comparison to, that's the nice thing about trading. You can trade till the day you die. I've been at this game for 15 years. I traded professionally for 10 years. I traded cash treasuries. I covered all the big banks. We would probably trade anywhere between 60 to 80 billion a year on my desk. I ran a rates desk. So I traded real size. I know what it's like to trade a real market. Treasuries is the second deepest market in the world. So I know what it's like to be on the bid for 200 million tens. I've been the entire bid in the world in 10-year notes and trade all day long, back and forth. Very deep market, moves fast. So anyway, but this is a market that I want to trade for the rest of my life. I think it's just a baby. So, anyways, this is what they call the economic confidence model. It was developed by Martin Armstrong and Princeton Economics. These guys were probably the biggest advisor to both corporations, governments, big money center banks. Big Forex advisor firm. But anyway, they have probably one of the best IA systems and big supercomputers that handles financial markets. But they developed this economic confidence model, and they found that it moves in 6 waves. And so this is called Schumpeter's waves of innovation that was overlaid onto this. And each wave, there's always tends to be a pendulum swing between the private sector and public sector, back to the private sector, back to the public sector. And currently we're in a private wave. And what I think is interesting is that here you have the roaring 20s, right? That was a big private wave. Great Gatsby, everybody knows about the roaring 20s, right? Automobiles, combustion engine, aviation, that was a big private sector boom. And then we had the Great Depression, right? And on the other side of this collapse, along with the sovereign debt crisis that happened in here, that's what really brought the world economy down. It wasn't just the stock market crashing, it was also a sovereign debt crisis, which we're probably going to run into here in the West, between Europe, Japan, and the U.S. There's probably another sovereign debt crisis on the horizon. Greece was just the tip of the iceberg, right? You're gonna have Portugal, Spain, Italy. Everybody's in the same boat. So we have to restructure the debt, or we're gonna crash and burn. And I don't think the politicians are smart enough to restructure. So we'll see. Part of that shift, if we do have a big sovereign debt crisis or a credit crisis, that's part of what I think is going to play out into gold and silver. Always are beneficiaries of that type of move or that type of shift. But I think digital currencies will be a huge benefactor to that type of trade, because there's always a winner and always a loser. When one market's getting crushed, another market's rallying, right? 2008 stocks collapsed. What did the dollar do? Dollar ripped, treasuries ripped, gold did pretty well, to a point. And then when we had a lot of margin calls and you had serious deflation, even gold was getting hit. But guys, point being, private wave, 1981 to the exact peak, guys. You saw the peak in 10-year interest rates up around 15%. That's when people were making money hand over fist in the pits in Chicago. I mean, I have my trading background professionally is the traders that taught me how to trade fixed income and bonds were all board of trade traded guys. And I know stories. I have family that making $60,000 20, 30 minutes on the open, just filling paper for all the different clients, and just all kinds of millionaires being made back in those days trading in the pits. That was a peak in the public wave. And so now we're building into this next private wave that's peaks in 2032. And that is part of this globalization. I think it is going to be a big part of the trend is going to be this shift to digital currencies and everything that's going to come along with it. I mean, there'll be other innovations in energy and medicine, but I think you guys get the point. So anyway, I don't want to spend too much time on the ECM and the difference between the big picture public and private waves. But this is kind of where I think we're at on digital currencies, Bitcoin in general, is that we've had this initial phase, right, since 2009, and the early adopters made a killing, but everybody was skeptical. I mean, I was sitting on the desk, and as an institutional trader, you kind of have an ego about this stuff. You don't give it a lot of credence. It's a one-way market, you don't know how to trade it. It doesn't clear through an exchange or clearinghouse. It's not regulated. You just brush all that off. That's the stealth phase we've been in. And now I think we're kind of in this phase where we've already had a good move, but we're in the awareness phase where you're going to start to see institutional investors already starting to want to partake, right? You still don't have any ETFs approved. You look at the headlines just yesterday, Barclays Bank is talking about how they want to open up and start not only probably trading Bitcoin and transacting and earning money that way, because that's what banks do, but they want to invest in the space. They want to have their customers and transfer money and deal on the blockchain. So I think all of this still we're just in the awareness phase. So there's a lot of room before the public starts to really get involved. That's the last phase, right? .com boom. You got cab drivers all day trading stock market, quitting their jobs. I told a story yesterday about, I remember back in the real estate bubble, people getting out of school, just literally just graduated. You ask them what they thought about real estate. Everybody would say real estate never goes down. I'm buying a house because real estate never goes down, never goes down, never goes down. And you had people coming out of school loan debt, not even a job yet, and they were buying $500,000 houses. And I lived in Colorado at the time, and I just thought it was crazy. That's the public all on one side, right? And we're not even close to that. The majority, if you ask the majority of, average day person, if you have a conversation on a weekend, most people don't. They've heard of Bitcoin, they don't know how to trade it, or they don't know what it is. You talk about the other altcoins, nobody knows. So we're still very early in this overall bull market. So anyway, that's kind of overview of what I think about the space, guys. And then let me just tell you a little bit about our model. Let me just see if there's any questions real quick first. One sec, guys. I'm just flipping over to the other screen. All right, you guys are good. So I'll get faster at this. Yeah, so this is cool. So this is what I've developed the last, geez, I don't know, just day and night, losing money, getting run over, losing clients money, making clients money. But in the early days, I mean, I was just banging away. I mean, when I first started trading, there's, like most traders, you go through a couple accounts. I mean, I blew up a couple accounts doing all the wrong stuff. I mean, I've pretty much made, guys, every mistake you can make in trading. And I've done it with, I used to have customers call me at hedge funds or big banks, and we'd buy tens together. And if I got them run over, I mean, they might not ever trade with me again, or they didn't want me to call them. I mean, so I know the pressure of trying to tell a guy to buy, $500,000 worth of tens, or putting his whole, a bit, we call it a yard. The guy's a 10-year trader. He gets long a yard of tens based on my recommendation or my model. It's a lot of pressure. So when I say that our model is institutionally forged, that's what I mean. It's me going down all the wrong paths, staying up late, scratching it on paper, trying to figure out what works, what I did wrong, going through trading journal after trading journal. And anyway, so that's kind of how our model was developed. Was just me through my experience and just a lot of hours in front of the screens. But this was the institutional work we used to do, or I used to do. So it's all the same directional model. You used to be able to type that into Bloomberg and you get my stuff. So even way back when I still called it the Jenkins model. We were doing, it's all the same stuff still to this day that I'll share with you guys. This is a lot of stuff that we go over on, for those that are on my full access team, I call it, or my trading team. And you guys are, of course, welcome to join that. It's a different program. It's different training. On the crypto coin team, we are utilizing the same stuff. I'm just not going to teach you the entire model. That's about 10 hours of training. And that's a live environment. But I'll get into the differences and the details. The point is, guys, that this is just stuff that I've been doing for a decade. And you're going to pick up on it as you join this crypto coin group, or the crypto team. But here's some basics of the origins of our model. So we're not fundamental guys. We're not chasing headlines or scanner, all these programs and these guys. To me, it's a joke. Just scanning and scanning and scanning, and they're all over the place. You won't hear me talking about, if this happens, or the Fed's doing this, or all that stuff is storytelling. The guys, that's just smoke and mirrors. Our model comes down to energy, which is waves, and cycles. So everything in the world, the metaphysical, is basically wave formation vibration. All right. Even the little atoms in the desk are vibrating, right? We know that from physics. I don't want to get into all that. That's a passionate topic of mine. But then it's happening on the macro level in the universe also. So it's just energy traveling through the markets, guys. It's the same thing. That's why the model works so well. The same wave formation that takes light from the sun to the earth, that's traveling in a wave. It's just how energy moves. So I've studied that. I've built a model with those same types of characteristics. And then we built in the concepts of time too. So I still think that gives us an edge in why we're so successful and why we're growing so fast and why we have a lot of consistency is because we get this timepiece down. Nobody talks about cyclical analysis. You turn on CNBC, it's all storytelling, it's all opinion. All that stuff doesn't matter. I mean, at the end of the day, don't tell me what you think's going to happen. I want to know where you're at in the cycle. I don't really care to know what the fundamentals are. That stuff doesn't help you at all with timing. But the cycles is all about timing. So we get into that on the full access team. It's all the same stuff. Business cycle to the 1 minute cycles. But we apply this to the digital currencies as well. Kind of go through some of this. The business cycle is 8.6 years, guys. That's the global business cycle. It's frequency. I already showed with you. There's a wave that builds into 51.6 years. And then we'll talk about this concept of pi. But what's interesting is the 8.6 year business cycle, guys. It was basically discovered by, again, this gentleman named Martin Armstrong who started Princeton Economics. And he just discovered it by basically realizing that he was studying these financial panics that happened over history, and over a 224-year period, you divide 26 into that, you come to this 8.6 frequency. And where it got kind of crazy to him was that these events were happening to the exact day. And so, I mean, I've studied this. It really is amazing. So just a couple examples. I mean, I don't know if this is a lot of financial history. It's kind of one of my passions. I don't know if you guys like this topic or this stuff, but this just proves to you there's a cyclical nature. Okay, and all the markets are connected. The entire global economy is connected. So if something's rising, something else is bottoming. And so it's about understanding the turning points. It's not just that with every high in the cycle, something's supposed to top out and bottom. Some markets are topping out. Some markets are bottoming with the top of the cycle. It's more of a rhythm of time, like music, like a metronome. But we're just catching the turning points. But if you go back, I mean, the precise low in equities in 1994 was in April, the bottom of the business cycle. Asian currency crisis started with a minor bottom of the wave here. Okay, the exact height of the Dow here in July 1998. Okay, on this side of the wave, Russia collapsed. So you had long-term capital management. On this minor turn, you had the internet.com bubble burst, right? 2 years later, you had the October low. It was the low was just before this turn, but pretty close, right? You can go back and check me on this. To the exact month, U.S. real estate peaked. You look at the Dow Jones U.S. real estate index to the exact month, guys. I mean, this just happens over and over. So I tell you this to explain the importance of cycles, and it happens on a long-term time frame, and it happens on a 1 minute chart. And again, that's what's unique about our model. That's what you're going to have access to, and that's where I want to help you guys make money. And we do have a pretty high level of consistency. I don't think that anybody else really has, and that's not because of me. It's not about me. It's about understanding, again, this timepiece. So there's the example. This is a Bloomberg chart I did way back when. Clean this up. So February 2007, boom, exact month real estate topped. And then check this out, guys. The low, 2009, came on this turn, exact low. So that's what I mean. It's not about, oh, well, you should get a high here and a low here and a high here. If that was the case, you would have a market that did this. It never would go anywhere, right? That's, I mean, that's just not reality. But this is a high. So what you do is you care about this turn. All right, you didn't get a major low. That means you can trade into the next turning point. Sure enough, boom. Great place to cover and or start to look at long that sector. Anyway, guys, pretty cool. I've done a lot of work on that. If you guys are interested, just message me. I'll tell you what, if you guys later, some of you are going to join the team, I'll send you a report I did called The History of the Business Cycle, and it goes through a lot of these different charts. I have stuff on there like the Russian ruble. I have stuff on there about Greece. So if you guys care about that, I'll send that to you. So here's this concept of pi. I'll just cover it briefly, but the business cycle is 8.6 years. And what's interesting about that is that there's 3,141 days, guys, in that frequency. All right. So that's pi multiplied by 1,000. Okay. That's just amazing. So 8.6 years is a derivative of pi, the business cycle. And then you start to see these numbers popping up. I mean, 13 is a derivative, 0.6153846615. There's a derivative within that. When you want to talk about big picture stuff, if you take this frequency, 53 minus 1 comes back to 52. It's twice the unit 26. But check this out. So 8.6 years is equal to the perfect number of pi times 1,000 days. Whoops. But if you also take 8.6 times 3, that's 25.8, another derivative. Well, you can look at things in the precession of the equinox is 25,800 days. That's the rotation of the Earth. So there's a unique design, guys, to the universe, and that's just a reality of time component. So we use that in our trading. When you look at a sine curve, cosine curve, that's all derivatives of pi. So when you understand this, you kind of understand why that line I showed you earlier on Ethereum turned out to be the low, both on Bitcoin and on Ethereum. There's a real live example just lately. So let's see what else. This is the model and the process. I teach my full access team traders. We have a 3-pillar process. It involves analysis, risk, and execution. I call that our 3 pillars. And so, again, if you're interested in learning about that program, of course, I'm happy to teach you and happy to have you on that team as well. But that's an overview of what you have access to when we're going to be trading this crypto stuff together. All right. This is an add and reduce method. This is something I created also. So this is learning how to work a position. Time is to get heavy, time is to add, time is to take profit, add again, reduce. So this chart just shows you when you start out your trade where your risk is. Keep doing that. When you start out your trade, like I teach my traders how to go contrarian. A lot of times you got to let your position, you got to let your, whatever you're trading, your security, just like an athlete, you got to let it bend its knees before it jumps, right? Before he leaps. So a lot of traders they put their whatever they're trading, their stock or their security or their cryptocurrency, they put it in a straitjacket. You got to let it bend its knees a lot of times before it leaps. All right, so you got to learn to trade in negative territory, but at the same time, not taking on too much risk, not just blindly adding into a loser. That's not what we do. All right, but then there's a time to add more, time to take profit, reshort, take profit, teach you guys how to use a trailing stop, how to create a profit cushion. That's what I'm trying to identify here. This is showing you keep the size small, and then when you start to break trend, these blue bars are showing you, I want you increasing your size, and then obviously you're taking profit, reducing your position. It's kind of like a 3D model I try to show of how I would work into a downtrend. So you guys staying with me here? Kind of a lot of information. I'm trying to move through it kind of quickly so you get the points, but you won't just drag on. But yeah, so let's talk about real quick the program. So we talked about the space, why I like it long term. Talked to you guys a little bit about the model. Let me show you here. If you go to JenkinsRM.com, JenkinsRM.com. This is my page. A lot of you have probably been here. And I'll just tell you here a couple things. If you want to get involved with our community, please just go to the chat room here. It's the easiest way to kind of just come in and get acquainted with us. Talk to any of my traders, anybody in there. Again, it's free. It takes 2 seconds to join. You can shoot me a message too. I'd love to go back and forth with you, know what you're trading, what you're looking at. Services. This is our full access team. This is, again, our chat room. Real-time alerts is a product we have. That's me in River, which is kind of like Slack, if you guys have ever used that, but it's push notifications to your phone, desktop. And that's everything I'm doing. When I'm day trading, I'm putting what I'm doing on Euro, New Zealand, what I'm doing on pound yen, what I'm doing on gold, oil. Day trade, boom, that's all there. Swing trading, if I'm swing trading a position on the NASDAQ like we've been doing lately, or if I'm core trading, if I have a long-term position on Google that I'm taking some profits, or I'm building a new position on Amazon, I put all of that, guys, in real-time alerts, and that's $99 a month. And I'll tell you guys a little bit about that later. That's going to be included with the crypto coin as a bonus. But this is our trading course. This is where you learn the model. It's 9 hours of video, on-demand video. This is our options training course. I trade a lot of options. That's how I started in the business, on the equity side. But if you go to our crypto coin team, that's kind of obviously what the webinar is about. And so this is our trading group. And so the vision I had for this, guys, I mean, the way I see this market, a lot of people want to participate, but it's so volatile that it's not a place that you want to park, your entire RIA. I just don't think that's smart. This space is so new. It's not regulated. We've all heard some of the things that happen with the different exchanges. All right. The brokers. So it's just, there's a lot of people that are new to it, and I don't think it's something where you just want to pile in and make a big heavy bet. I just don't think that market's developed enough, and there's a lot of volatility for that. But I do think that there's a lot of opportunity to start small and, maybe make 10 times your money or 100 times your money over the next 3, 5, 10 years. I really do think those types of returns are possible. I mean, we already see it in a lot of the altcoins. I mean, geez, we were up 300-400% on ant shares 2 weeks ago. Took some profit, started rebuilding the position again down with a 5 handle, and it's already up at 8, guys, this week within 2-3 days. So these 40-50% moves, I mean, most of you guys are aware of all that. So I said, okay, look, well, what if you did just put in $500? You buy and hold, you still can make 3-5 times your money, right? Okay, you make 10 times your money, $500, that's $5,000. That's still a great trade, right? That's one hell of a return. But I think we can do better. One, if you know how to trade it, because then you can compound your money. There's going to be intermediate term moves, right? You can do a lot more than 10 times if you add and reduce, compound our money over time. But then I also was like, well, what if we just use the power of numbers and we start this investment club type of idea, a membership model, where you're not just pulling your $500, you have one or two, three entries on Bitcoin. What if we build this team where we have 1,000 members and everybody puts in $500? Well, now we've got some serious capital to trade. We can trade bigger positions. We can work into more plays. We can spread some of our capital across, you know, some of these coins as they come out on initial coin offerings, just like an IPO. So that was the vision. I was like, all right, let's just have a team. Let's have a membership group where you have a buy-in, a membership fee, and that's pretty, you can invest more if you want, but we'll trade that together. We'll do it on a collaborative basis. We're going to let the model drive. So yeah, I'm the head trader, but it's not about my opinion or me, my ego or anything like that. I mean, I just trade the model anyway. That's the best way to trade, to have a model and a process. So guys, that's kind of it. I mean, I'll go through these numbers here in a second, but essentially there's going to be a buy-in that kind of gets you your seat at the table, is one way to think of it. I mean, geez, if you wanted to have a seat at the board of trade, it was $1 million to buy a seat on the board. That's kind of the way I look at this. So if you want to be involved in our team, our program, you want to play in this market with us with the model, it's $500, but that's going to be your seed capital. All right. And then we'll have a $500 annual membership fee. But what's cool about it, I'll show you in a second. That's a yearly thing, but you're going to have an opportunity to actually make money on that as well. And then we're going to have the JRM trading model. I was kind of explain that. We're leveraging that I built. Leadership is my experience to help. I think there's a lot of people that are kind of trying to trade these markets and navigate these waters. And with the volatility, they're chasing the highs. They're getting stopped out into lows. They're getting kind of whipped around. So I'm going to help us not do that, both from a psychological standpoint, but there'll be a lot of teaching stuff. All right. We're going to have weekly meetings. We had one yesterday, and we can discuss ideas. I'm totally open to other group members participating or doing recommendations, or hey, let's check out this coin, or all that good stuff, guys. That's a way more valuable way to trade. There's so much more information that we can leverage than just sitting by yourself on the internet at night, So that's kind of what input is. And then referrals. Let me show you what we mean by the referrals in the affiliate program. All right. So go back to this presentation or the keynote. Okay, guys. So this is basically what's included in the program. I don't know if I flip to a full screen, if you guys will be able to see. Let's see. Hey, let me try this. Can you guys see this on YouTube? Add or reduce if I flip to the full screen. Do you see what you'll get? I can't see your quotes when I'm in the full screen. Hold on a second. Yeah, Nathan, you can see it, okay? What about in YouTube land? Sorry, guys, hold on. Just bear with me 1 second. I just want to make sure. I don't want to go through all this and then you guys blind. Hold on. It looks like you can. All right. Well, interesting cycle. Okay, yeah, this I think we're gonna record this. So if you got to run, I know it's kind of a longer video than or longer than I usually do. All right, I'm gonna try to do this in full screen, and hopefully it works. Okay, so this is kind of where we left off. All right. So this is what you get with the program. We talked about a seat at the table, which is it's your initial seed capital, right? You're going to get access to the trading model. So everything we're doing is just being bounced off the model. So there's people that pay $3,500, $5,000, okay, just to have access to the model and me and trade together every day. The leadership, I'll do coaching sessions one-on-one with traders at, I charge $5,000 or more. I've had some institution guys pay me 10 grand a month to work with me, for me to cover them. Timing and real-time alerts, that's $99 value. That's just on the crypto stuff, is sending the alerts out, what we're doing. Recommendations, so I don't know, put a value on everybody else bringing ideas to the table. I didn't understand ant shares till a couple 2-3 weeks ago. So that was an idea that was brought to me, right, as a recommendation from other people on the team. What's that worth? But then again, team input and collaboration, other team members sharing value, not just me coming up with recommendations. Huge value there. So that, if you want to combine all that, that's 10 grand. That to me seems a little bit low compared to what the model's been and what the institutions have paid me in the past. But nonetheless, there's real value here, guys, and this is what it's currently going for, $1,000. Because I don't want to box everybody out. I want this to be a big team, and I want people to be able to commit a little bit of capital, get on a team, a membership team. $500 to join a club is nothing. I mean, you guys get that, right? In finance, you got to pay a lot to trade at the board of trade, a lot. But I want people to be able to take a little bit of capital. I'd rather you guys pay into your fund or trade in your own capital than pay a bunch of money into a program. All right, but then there's a few more other angles to this. So I thought, okay, remember back to the example, I'm like, all right, you got $500, that's cool. What if we do really well, the market takes off, you make 10 times your money? Okay, $500 goes to 5,000. All right, that's cool. But what if there's a way you could get people involved for, again, low price, but then also, what if we come up with some other ideas that you can earn extra money and increase your stake even more? And then, what if you put together $2,000-$3,000 in a trading account? Now you grow that 10 times. Now we're talking 30 grand. That changes people's lives to some extent. That might pay for somebody's college education, pay off your student loans. So that's what I wanted to get to with this affiliate program. So for everybody that you guys refer into the program, it's $200 credit into your account. So I think that's a pretty cool deal. I mean, can you find 2 to 3 people that are interested in Bitcoin? I mean, conversations come up all the time when I'm out. They don't know what it is. They don't know how to get involved. And what also is cool, guys, is that if you can leverage us, you can leverage my company, right? So we already have a website built. We already have videos out there. We'll get you guys an affiliate link, your own affiliate link. So some of you are really good on the web. I mean, you want to go after Twitter, or you want to find places to post and refer people. I mean, there's real dollars here for you. But yeah, you can leverage us. You can leverage the site. If we put together a landing page, you guys don't have to build that. So that all that's there, the trading, everything. All you got to do is just refer people. However you want to do that, we'll get you a link. That's it. So I think that's pretty easy to find 2 to 3 people if you want. That's extra 400, 600 bucks in your capital account. Can you find 10 people, right? So guys, look at this. So the program, this was my idea. I'm going to give you all this value, right? $1,000, but in reality, 500 of that is your seed capital, right? So that is in your account that you're already putting into the market with all of us, okay? And then you got the potential to earn hundreds, if not thousands of dollars in affiliate capital. So essentially, guys, you can get into this program for a little bit of effort and your cost is basically zero, right? Zero risk pretty much, okay? Refer a few people. And so that's it. That's the program, $1,000. And then here, I was gonna say this too. Here, let me show this. I thought about this today. So guys, join the program. There's the link at the bottom here, jenkinsrm.com/crypto-coin-team. But if you guys sign up today, I'm gonna give you the real-time alerts product, which is all my other traders get that are on my full access team. And that's all the trades I'm doing in all the other markets. So 3 months access to that. And again, that's a almost $300 value if you sign up today. I'll give you that access for 3 months also. So I don't know if some of you guys are trading oil, right? Bonds, Forex. You know, we trade a lot of gold together. We're trading the NASDAQ, S&Ps. All right, so that's a great value. And then I'll just share this one last thing with you guys too, I thought of today. For the first 15 people that sign up from once we end this webinar, I'm going to give you my options training course too. That's a $795 value. You actually learn the entire model in that options training, okay? And I teach you my ratio back spreads and how I like to trade options. I mean, that course right there should be $5,000. So that's for the first 15 people. I'm not kidding. I'm going to keep track too. So if you guys are interested, I mean, don't procrastinate. I give you a little incentive there to just get started. That's pretty much all I have. What you guys have questions? Let me go back to the YouTube here. Hold on, let me check Zoom real fast. No, not a whole lot in Zoom. About YouTube land, what's on your guys' mind? Futures gal, yeah. So it's $1,000 into the program. So of that 1,000, $500 is the membership fee, right? And then the other 500 we put into a fund where we have a coin tracking program, and we're pooling our money together. That other 500. So you'll get your own login, and you'll be able to see. I mean, this is one of the most transparent programs there is. You're going to see what we've been trading. You'll see in the private crypto team, like when we're buying Bitcoin or when we're buying Ethereum or when we're taking profits on Ant shares or Litecoin. All right. Yeah, so it's a membership fee, and then that's other 500 goes into your part of your account within the overall investment club. And then you can always buy in more, guys. I didn't really go over that. That's going to be an option that we call coin bags. So kind of like shares in a mutual fund company. If you want to invest more into the club, you can. We'll call those coin bags. So basically for every 500 that you put in, you basically earn more shares into the investment fund. Yep, you can add shares later. So I mean, I don't know. Nobody trades mutual funds anymore, but if you guys know how a mutual fund works, at the end of the close every day, you mark the net asset value. So you can always buy into a mutual fund and it moves like a stock price. So we started the fund at $100 or at par, and then 6 months from now, if the fund's performance of the coins is up 100%, you know, the price of the fund would be 200. So every time you buy in, you'll know where you bought in at as of close that day, and then you can track it. You can track your average cost, just like when you buy into a mutual fund. You know, okay, I bought this amount on this day, I bought this amount on this day, and that way you know your average cost. That way you know, even for like tax purposes, that matters at the end of the year. So that's how we're running that. Does that make sense, guys? Yeah, this sign up. I don't know. I don't have a link like live here to click. Or Alec, can you put that in? Isn't the link above to sign up? No, I got you, Renee. I hear you. But guys, I mean, they're not. I'm not going anywhere. So you can go to the site jenkinsrm.com. Go underneath services. You'll see crypto coin team. Let me see if I can link right now. Let's see. And I'll show you guys. So you go here. This is the home page. You go underneath services. All right, crypto coin team. You could sign up right there. Again, I'm first 15 people. You're gonna get. I'm gonna send you the options training course, which is like the entire trading model you learn. And again, how I like trading options. There's a bunch of strategies there, and you get the real time alerts. So yeah, join now. Boom. Take you to the PayPal. Okay. Pretty simple. I'm going to start using Webinar Jam, then you guys can just link right away. Okay, cool. There, guys, that should link you up. All right, guys, join today if you're interested. They'll give you that real time alerts to all the other markets for 3 months, and then I think you guys can earn if $500 is kind of a or $1,000 is a little bit tight right now. I mean, you guys can if you go refer 2 or 3 people. I mean, it's pretty much going to pay for itself. So try to get it as low and easy as entry as I can. All right. Well, look forward to seeing you on some of you on the team or in the chat. Always send me a message, and hopefully we'll see you on the team. I'll be live with my guys in the morning. We'll be trading Forex as usual pretty early. So anyway, guys, hope you got some value out of this, and we'll see you on the team. Enjoy the rest of your evening, afternoon, or morning, depending on where you're at. All right, you're welcome. All right, guys, take care. Enjoy the rest of your day.